It's the fourth and final game of a four-game series from Petco Park in San Diego on this Mother's Day. The Cardinals and Padres wrap up their long series. Everything is pink around the ballpark today. The bases, you'll see hats, you'll see jerseys, you'll see it all. It's the Cardinals and Padres on Mother's Day and Military Sunday. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Sweeney. Welcome to Padres baseball. Well, it took a little while to get it done last night, but in the end, it was all good as the Padres walk it off in 13, and Eric Hosmer comes up with a very big hit.
Well, when you're looking for a hero, you rely on your star players, and Eric Hosmer coming up big. This was the first walk-off hit for the Padres, and they needed it. Very good pitching performance to seal the deal, and then you see Eric Hosmer with that big moment. Celebrate, guys, because that is a huge walk-off victory. When it comes down to it, you're going to have to face this Cardinal pitching today, which is really important. When it comes down to the Cardinal pitching, they're going to rely on one of their stalwarts. It has a fabulous career. He also, when you see those 280 starts, 69 road wins in his resume, and it's been unbelievable. But this is a different pitcher. He doesn't have the velocity, but he's going to rely on his breaking ball. It is one of those breaking balls, as you can see, that racks up strikeouts. 5 strikeouts away from 1,600. This is a fabulous player. Hopefully the Padres can attack him and be that aggressive guy, because Adam Wainwright knows how to go out there and win. It's up to Clayton Richard today and the Padres.
Well, the Padres are taking the field, and it's time for our Military Take the Field presented by USAA. Today we welcome 9 U.S. Navy representatives. Padres, of course, signing autographs and meeting with each of the servicemen and women here today, as the Padres always honoring the military on Military Sundays here from Petco Park in San Diego. So got a lot of stuff going on here today. Mother's Day as well as Military Sunday. Let's check out the weather report. Brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers. 67 degrees, west breeze at 10 miles per hour. Forecast is partly cloudy for the remainder of the day, but lots of sunshine as we get it started here today. Game 4 of the series. Don Orsillo, Mark Sweeney, and Bob Scanlon with you for the final game of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals are taking off for Minnesota after the ball game. The Padres will stay here to welcome the Colorado Rockies. Let's check out the Cardinals starting 9 with Tommy Pham leading it off. He is in center field with Harrison Bader in right field. Jose Martinez at first base with Marcelo Zuna in left. It is Jed Jerko at third base. Paul DeYoung, who's had a great series at shortstop. Carson Kelly catches the day game after the night game with Colton Wong at second base. And Adam Wainwright, activated off the DL, is the pitcher and bats out of the 9 spot for Mike Matheny. Clayton Richard on the hill today for the Padres.
Well, Clayton Richard, scouting report, and it has a lot to do with arm side command, and he needs a W. Why? Because that would tie him for third with Padre left-handers with Dave Dravecky, but also pitching very well. 8 innings last time out against the Washington Nationals. He looked very comfortable. He needs some run support today.
Well, Tommy Pham making his way here plateward. Padres winning last night's game in 13 innings in walk-off style, as Clayton Richard ready to work here today and hoping to get a lot of ground ball outs. That's key, as you mentioned. When Richard is going well, he induces a lot of ground ball outs. First pitch of the ball game in there for strike 1. Tommy Pham having a very good year top the order, hitting at .327 coming in. 1-2 to Pham with Bader to follow here in the first inning for St. Louis. Padres playing him straight up in the outfield. And Pham pretty close to the plate from the right side. That is strike 3, and a good start for Clayton Richard. Strikes out the first Cardinal that he faces today.
Done a nice job with Tommy Pham last night, but also today. You can see that glove side command with a fastball. Must have been looking for that off-speed pitch and sticks the landing.
So 1 down here in the first inning, and it brings up Harrison Bader. Starts in 3 of the 4 games in this series. Sprays it foul off to the right out of play. Bader at 241, 2 homers and 3 runs batted in into his 28th game of the year. Bader now, Martinez next as St. Louis bats here in the first inning. Cardinals starting the day tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Top the National League Central. Have won 7 of their last 10 games. On the road for Mike Matheny, they are 10-8. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. They got to throw him out, and do, as it briefly got away from Rafi Lopez. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the outing for Clayton Richard. Let's check out the defense behind Richard today for the Padres, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Left to right, it is Franchi Cordero in left, Manuel Margot in center, Travis Jankowski in right, with Corey Spangenberg at third, Freddie Galvis at short, Jose Perella at second base, and Eric Hosmer, last night's hero, at first base. And after catching 13 innings in last night's game, Rafi Lopez back behind the dish today.
Pretty surprised, and obviously he's probably feeling those effects, but early in the season, night game, day game, no big deal.
In the air off the bat of Jose Martinez. Jankowski over towards the line, makes the catch, and Richard enjoys a 1-2-3 first. Padres are coming up. Padres. By Cadillac. Visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. By Jack in the Box. This season, Padres home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. And by Petco, the pet company. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first inning. And Travis Jankowski leading it off. And Eric Hosmer and Jose Perella. Adam Wainwright on the mound for the Cardinals. His return welcome sign for St. Louis, and a miss with ball 1 to Jankowski. Travis leading it off, and he has been great since his return, since coming back from El Paso. And one thing to look for Wainwright is his velocity has been down end of last year and into this year. Different guy so far. Different guy, and maybe he's losing those bullets that you hear. A lot of workload in a very successful career. It does pick up the corner, and it's 2-1 to Jankowski. One of those stables of right-handed pitchers in general, for a very successful franchise. Scouting report from Adam Wainwright. Pitching in more, even with the less velocity. He gets this in, and it's grounded to second base, and Jankowski retired 4-3. Let's check out the Padres starting nine, brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Just saw Travis Jankowski. Now Eric Hosmer is at first, Jose Perella at second, Franchi Cordero in left. Rafi Lopez does the catching, with Corey Spangenberg at third, Freddie Galvis at short, Manuel Margot in center, and Clayton Richard doing the pitching and batting out of the 9 spot. One down for Eric Hosmer. Well, Hosmer with a walk-off hit in the 13th inning last night. His first walk-off hit in a Padres uniform, the 9th of his major league career. He's had a flair for the dramatic. Line to center, and that's going to get in for a base hit in front of Tommy Pham. Eric Hosmer the single in his first at bat today with one down.
Well, hopefully that game-winning hit gets him locked in. That's what Eric Hosmer would like. You see him fighting off this fastball to center field. Going to have to handle that velocity pitch inside today. So many teams have been pounding him in.
One out, one on, and it brings up Jose Perella. Perella hitting at 270, no homers, and 13 runs batted in. Drops that one a little bit low, perhaps.
Well, we touched on the keys for Adam Wainwright. He's going to be pitching in just a little bit more, but he still has that curveball. Also, watch today, he's dropping his arm angle a little bit. Try to relieve some of that stress off the elbow that he was on the disabled list for. What's that going to cause is really the two-seam action. You've seen a lot of run on his ball today.
Two-time 20-game winner. Won 20 games in 2010, won 20 games in 2014. He's a 19-game winner in 2013. Foul back, 1-2. Came over from the Atlanta Braves with Jason Marquis. Left-hander Ray King in exchange for J.D. Drew and Eli Marrero. That was back in 2003. Wow. That's a long time ago.
Sure is.
Broke into the big leagues in 2005 with the Cardinals. Swing and a miss, and going chasing was Perella. Strikes out for out number 2. First strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Let's check out the Cardinals defensively, brought to you by Cadillac. Left to right in the outfield, it is Marcelo Zuna, Tommy Pham, and Harrison Bader. Third to first, Jed Jerko, Paul DeYoung, Colton Wong, and Jose Martinez, with Carson Kelly doing the catching today after we saw Francisco Pena catch last night, the night game for the Cardinals. 2 down, runner at first, and here's Franchi Cordero.
I tell you what, Tony Gwynn Jr. talked on the pregame show today about how important Paul DeYoung has been. I've been very impressed. Obviously, we saw what he did last year, signing an extension with the Cardinals. It's a talented shortstop. Very good defensively, but he's also seen some offense as well.
His range has been very good. His throwing arm has been very good and accurate. Little number that is a foul ball right at the plate.
You know what's so impressive is that he makes us the hard play look very simple. I think that's judging a shortstop position. We see Freddie Galvis make very spectacular plays, but Paul DeYoung does it in a simple form, but it's really fun to watch.
Right ahead here, 0-2. And And that one kind of surrounded the plate, but not a strike.
Yeah, I agree. When you start surrounding the plate, it's that dropping down with the arm angle that you're going to see. It's going to be different shapes to the breaking ball. And you can see it doesn't have a lot of velocity, doesn't have the depth, but he has the break and he knows how to spin a baseball.
1-2 pitch. He'll have to wait. A soft toss over to first base. Didn't look like Martinez was quite ready for that. He was not standing on the bag. Kind of came over in his direction. So he caught it. Playing in front of the runner and Hosmer at first base. 2-2. Jumped ahead 0-2, but now even. Cardinals took the first 2 games of the series before the walk-off win in 13 for the Padres last night. So chance today for San Diego to gain a split in this 4-game series. And a full count now. Wainwright made a rehab start, Double-A Springfield on Monday, recovering from the right elbow inflammation. Went 5 innings, allowing 2 hits, no runs. 59 pitches in that outing.
Now you wonder how long that leash is going to be for Mike Matheny, working with the right-hander coming off the disabled list.
That is ball 4, and he had been ahead 0-2, but he walks Cordero. First base on balls of the day delivered by Wainwright. Well, like the Padres, the Cardinals had to get deep into that bullpen last night too.
So. Yeah, that's going to affect the game today. Obviously, managing this game, you have to realize that you don't have too many fresh arms down there.
Oh, they have 1 fewer. In fact, they sent down John Brebbia to make room for Wainwright on the roster.
Back-to-back days with Brebbia. Probably a needed move more than a want move.
Rafi Lopez will take a look at strike 1. Lopez hitting at .217 coming in. 2 homers and 3 runs batted in, and catching the day game after a long night game. On the corner, and it's 0-2. That may have been generous.
Yeah, see the curveball, and it really does surround that plate outside, and he's dropping down. You wonder if it's going to be spinning more. A lot of backup curveballs we've seen early in this game. What I mean about a backup curveball, they spin it, but it goes the other direction. Typically, it's that 2 o'clock to maybe 7 o'clock break that you're going to get on a really good curveball. And it starts backing up. You start trying to anticipate where that break's going to be. That's how you hit a breaking ball.
Well, last fastball at 89 miles an hour, so the velocity is down for Wainwright. To the breaking ball again, and he missed.
Well, to me, for the Padres, they have to prove that he's going to be able to throw that breaking ball. We see the velocities on the pitch.
Line down the right field line, foul, and we'll do it again. 2-2 as Lopez surveys the bat there to make sure that he did not break it. 4th start of the year for Adam Wainwright. 281st career start. And on the DL on the 22nd of April. Knocked down here by Kelly. Full count now. Next pitch for Wainwright will be the 25th of this first inning.
Well, I tell you what, all the variations of what Adam Wainwright's trying to create today, if you're on the base pass, you have to anticipate that breaking ball. Carson Kelly does a nice job keeping the ball in front, but you have to try to advance bases, get yourself in scoring position. Runners will be off here with 2 down. And Lopez hits one in the air down the left field line.
Ozuna towards the stands, but a foul ball. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, Don, you touched on it. More grounders for Clayton. And why? Because he had 11 his last start with 8 innings of work. And bouquet of flowers. Everyone gave their mothers flowers, hopefully, but also the fathers need more hits. Let's see some hits from the fathers. Some big ones. I don't want to name any names, but Jesse Agler gave me that one.
8th pitch coming here of the at bat. And it is lifted foul off to the left out of play.
Always rely on Jesse to give a little bit of keys. I needed one today.
You're not the only guy that does that. There's another guy who sits in that chair on occasion and rarely comes up with his own keys.
But you're not going to name any names, right?
2 on, 2 down. Colton Wong, second baseman, is in short right field. Fly ball. Ozuna may have a shot at this one. He heads over towards the stands, and he won't again as he runs out of room. And Ozuna going as far as he could. It's a different Adam Wainwright here today than what we've seen in the past. You look at his breakdown from 2014 compared to today.
Well, the one thing that comes out and sticks in my mind is that less usage of that cutter. Puts a lot of stress on that elbow. That's what he went on the disabled list for. So you have to try to create different ways. And you're seeing that different arm angle today from Adam Wainwright. He's dropped down a little bit.
I'd be curious to know what the difference in velocity was from 2014 to today.
Yeah, you know what? It was probably, I would say 93, 94 comfortably. Also, he could add a little bit to pitch at the top of the zone.
That is ball 4, and back-to-back walks here have the bases filled with Padres with 2 down. That was a 10-pitch at bat for Rafi Lopez. Works a walk. So a golden opportunity here for Corey Spangenberg. Returning to the big leagues yesterday prior to the game. Recall from El Paso. Do his 23rd game of the year. 190 with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. Ball 2, 2-0.
Really seeing the lack of arm speed, and also his arm direction is going off the plate, continuing to lose that command. Mike Matheny's watching with a careful eye. Remember, only 1 rehab start. Took a while for them to make that decision. See pitching coach Mike Maddox already on the phone.
2-0 pitch, rip foul out ahead of this. Back into the seats down the right field line. Spangenberg was sitting dead red there with a count of 2-0.
Yeah, got a cutter in on the hands. Good location by Wainwright.
Hosmer at third, Cordero at second, Lopez at first. And a 2-1 pitch. A little bit low, 3-1.
Well, if Carson Kelly takes this out of the strike zone, you see hitting the bottom right corner. The command wavering, you're not going to get that pitch most times, even as a veteran.
There is already action in the pen for the Cardinals. That's John Gant who is up, the right-hander. As Wainwright struggles here in the first inning, is not allowed to run yet, but on the brink of doing so. Spangenberg will ground it to DeYoung, and he'll win the foot race to the bag that gets Wainwright out of the first inning unscathed.
Hey, Mom, thanks for supporting me from day one. Thanks for caring for me and loving for me and, always helping me and being there for me. I love you. Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day for you, and you're here and say, that I love you, and see you soon.
Hi, Mom. I love you. Thanks for everything. Man, I couldn't be the man I am without you.
Mother's Day 2018 here at Petco Park in San Diego. Several of the players wishing their moms happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Marcelo Zuna leading it off and fouling it off over by the Padres dugout.
Well, I echo all of those statements too. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, also my wife, taking care of our family. You need examples like that, and Craig Stammen said it best. Wouldn't be the man without my mom. I know that.
Well said. Marcelo Zuna, Judd Jerko, and Paul DeYoung about here in the second inning. Outfield set up straight away here on Ozuna. Just outside the line at third and foul.
You know what, Don, it's pretty interesting because the influences you have in this game, and today we think of our mothers, we are reactionary, but I used to put my mom and dad's name in my hat because you have reminders. It's always about results here, and guys go through the pressures, but I needed reminders. I take my hat off. Every hat I had, my mom and dad on.
This is going to be a fair ball. Gets through to the wall. Cordero plays it quickly and did a great job of getting it back in, holding Ozuna to a long single. Let's check in with Bob Scanlon.
Well, Don, this second inning could be a telltale sign for Clayton Richard. Why? Well, in the games in which he's not allowed to run in the first 2 innings, his earned run average of 3.6. In those games where he's allowed at least 1 run in the first 2 innings, it jumps up. It doubles up to a 7.38. So hopefully he can put up another 0. Looked really good in that first inning, guys, with the 2 strikeouts. He's making a lot of quality pitches down in the zone. Let's hope for a goose egg in inning number 2. Back over to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Here is Jed Jerko, the former Padre. Possible double play. Galvis to second for 1, on to first for 2. That is that ground ball that he can induce that gets him out of any kind of trouble here, getting the 6-4-3 double play after the leadoff single.
Well, 11 ground ball outs in his last start, 8 innings of work, and this one can't come at a better time. You see the ground ball to Freddie Galvis, and that's a good starter. Nice turn by Jose Perella, middle of the diamond, easily getting Jerko.
So 2 down here in the second inning, and it brings up Paul DeYoung. And a nice defensive play. He was positioned perfectly, as it turned out, on a scalding ball off the bat of Corey Spangenberg, where the bases loaded that ended the first inning.
You know, we touched on it in a couple games previous that the Cardinals aren't shifting too much. They'll take some opportunities, and really 1 or 2 guys are shifting because of the way the placement was. Perfect defensive alignment for the Cardinals that last inning.
I think he went. They're going to check. He did, says Jeff Nelson, first base umpire and crew chief. Beautiful day here in San Diego. 1-2 pitch is down low, and it is 2-2. Eight home runs on the young season for DeYoung, who fouls it off. So they're going to work him away. It's Peace, fouls it off, and evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, so much we see Clayton Richard with that glove side command. The slider, also the changeup. When he throws that 2-seamer away to right-handers, it has so much sink, and it's really an important pitch. Going to the breaking ball here.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in, and DeYoung strikes out. Third K for Richard. We're scoreless after an inning and a half. Time now for the Kia Drive to Success. Adam Wainwright out on the hill today for the Cardinals. Most career wins with St. Louis, among the all-time leaders. He's got 147 and in the top 5. Of course, Bob Gibson on top, 251. Long way for Wainwright to go to get there.
Not going to catch that.
Don't think it's happening.
5 strikeouts away from 1,600 for Adam Wainwright.
This is the 50th anniversary of Bob Gibson's record-breaking 1968 season. And he is on the cover of the Cardinals media guide this year.
I tell you what, when you're around Bob Gibson, and we had the luxury of being in the Cardinals uniform, you got to spend time with him in spring training. You really believe that if his mom was digging in, he would have going to dust her. And you hear those stories, you're like, come on, it's Mother's Day, you're not going to dust her. Yes, he would. He'd move her feet. But he had a sense of like that strength.
In there for a strike. Let me ask you this: is he intimidating in person?
Yes.
I mean, after all these years, still.
Yes. Until he's around Lou Brock, because both of them would start bantering and start talking a little bit.
There's ball 4, another walk. This one leads off the second inning, and it's the 3rd free pass served up by Adam Wainwright. He's kind of getting squeezed here a little bit, it looks like.
Now 33 pitches in the first inning. That was really a very good location of the pitch. But when you're in and out of the strike zone so much as Wainwright has been today, you're not going to get too many of those pitches.
He's not getting them. Leadoff walk brings up Manuel Margot. Soft toss over to first base, and back to the bag is Galvis. Wainwright figuring out who's going to cover second base here. One in the direction of DeYoung at short, Wong at second. Had the feel like they had Wainwright on the ropes there in the first inning, but couldn't drive in a run. They had John Gant up in the pen, did the Cardinals. And this will be pitch number 40 of his outing. Going to throw 33 first inning pitches.
Well, you think about it, Don, the Padres have to score first. They're 11-1 when they score first. That's a priority. It's really a mindset. So to not come up with a run in that first inning, you really have to try to push one across, and a leadoff walk is a good start.
The average for Margot sliding under 200 at 198 at the moment to start the day. Falling behind again is Wainwright, 2-1. Jim with a record of 1-2 and fresh off the DL. Been on the DL since April the 22nd. That's a strike, and it's 2-2. Only given up 1 hit so far. It was a single by Hosmer in the first inning. Margot pops it up back at first, and that's going to fall. A base hit that just lands harmlessly behind the brought in first baseman. On the infield dirt, Margot reaches on the hit, and it's first and second with nobody out. You don't see this all that often.
Now it gets jammed, and you can see putting the ball in play, good things tend to happen. And this is perfect placement for Manny Margot, a hit that is very needed. You can see Martinez. This is the sun field right behind second base. It's very difficult on day games. Not a chance. As soon as he peeks up, he sees the sun. Not even being able to see that ball.
Richard looking to bunt here and move the runners along. First pitch strikes to only 3 of 9 so far for Adam Wainwright. They're charging from the corners here as again Richard squaring. And this time fouls it off. So Leave it at 1-1. This walk to begin the inning. The infield hit for Manuel Margot. 2 on, nobody out. Fouled it off again, and Clayton unable to get it down in 2 tries. So 1-2. So they take it off here or keep it on.
I think they keep him on. Why not? Got to try to advance these runners. Remember last night, big situation. Corey Spangenberg doesn't get it done. It goes into the 13th inning. Got to execute in these situations.
Pulls it back and takes ball 2. 2-2. Padres left the bases loaded in the first inning. Have 2 on here with nobody out. And Richard trying to get a sacrifice here to move the runners along. Pulls it back for ball 3 and a full count now.
Well, if you're Mike Matheny right now, you understand Adam Wainwright is laboring. Doesn't have command of any of his pitches. And as you said, Don, only 1 rehab assignment, so pushed into action. He only had 59 pitches in that rehab assignment. Probably sitting right around 75 would be max today.
Richard will strike out as he pulled it back and it grabs a corner. That is out number 1 and strikeout number 2 for Adam Wainwright.
See the fastball perfectly located, 85 miles an hour. Seeing even the velocity dip down.
First and second, 1 down. Travis Jankowski. He has been on fire lately at .435 in the last 6 games. And he takes ball 1. Leading off every day, playing in right field in the absence of Will Myers. As a leadoff hitter, Jankowski hitting at .400 since coming up from El Paso. Picks up the corner and evens at 1-1.
Well, watching Adam Wainwright work, you start looking at it from the left-handed hitter's perspective. You got to look out over the plate. He's thrown some cutters in, but those are for purpose. So almost split the plate in half.
Action again for the Cardinals in their pen. John Gant up the last inning, and Gant is back up again. Get the feeling Wainwright is not long for this game.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose a lot of bullets either with that shortened bullpen, you would assume, because of the workload last night.
Thrown 52 pitches, 26 for strikes, 26 for balls. Two and two. Leadoff walk, an infield hit, strikes out Clayton Richard. Now Jankowski grounds one to the shortstop. DeYoung touches second, fires to first. Another double play. It ends the second. We're scoreless through 2.
Let's see. I had 41 homers last year. Cammy had 40. But hey, he got to hit from both sides. Maybe now I'll hit 80.
Oh! I don't think so, Greg.
Those commercials were outstanding.
Seriously, how many takes for Cammy for that? I know it's only a few words, but how many takes?
I would say probably 10.
There's a grounder that's going to find its way into left center field off the bat of Carson Kelly. It opens up the third inning. Yes, Greg Vaughn is here. Greg, great first pitch, by the way. Outstanding.
Yeah, you know, I had my shoulder redone in August. I haven't felt that good since high school. You know what I mean? At a low velocity, too.
Should have had it redone in '97.
Yeah, I was supposed to have it redone in 2000, but back then they said I had to retire. You know, that would have been the 5th time. So as long as I can play golf, I'm good.
Obviously, you've gone through a fabulous weekend with last night being honored. How much fun has it been to see all the guys?
Well, you know that. I mean, every time we get a chance to hang out and see one another, you know, it's always special. You know, especially that team, because like I said, we were always so close. You know, it was definitely a family atmosphere. You know, it was more than just teammates. It was teammates that really cared about each other and liked each other.
Do you have a favorite moment from that season?
There were so many favorite moments, but I would say probably, you know, clinching to go to the World Series. You know, spring training was special. I think it started there, but clinching to go to the World Series was pretty special. You know, and I would say the World Series, except you know we got swept, and you know even though game 1, you know you hit 2 home runs, you still lose. It doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth. You know, and so I would say probably clinching to go to the World Series.
You know what? Selfishly, and spend a lot of time with, obviously continue to be great friends. The last swing of the year, 50 home runs, and you were sitting at 49 for so long, and we all wanted it for you, and that was to me one of the moments that a bunch of moments, but that was huge and special for us. How was it for you?
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, I had a month and a half to hit to hit number 50. I was stuck on 49, and I remember going into the tunnel. Like I said, right before that, it was the top of the 9th, and I said, you know what, 49 is okay too. You know, it's still a good year, and then Aaron Small, he hung us 0-2 slider, and then it was just like, get up, you know. And then what made it even more special, and I know what Sween is talking about, is that when I rounded third base, my whole team was almost at home plate, so it's like the Little League World Series, you know.
Well, we all felt like it was a part of what Greg was pushing for. It wasn't individual exploits, but it had a lot to do with that last thing. We already clinched. We knew what was going on. It was really hanging in the balance, and number 50 really put what was a spectacular year individually for him, because he carried us for 2.5, 3 months, and it was just spectacular, and really catapulted us into the playoffs where we had a good run.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that was like the final piece. I mean, because we were, you know, we won the West by a wide margin back then, so we already knew we had that locked up. But it sort of gave that little extra jump start or momentum, you know, because for, like I said, a month and a half, I couldn't get the ball in the air. You know what I mean? I still squared some up, but it was on the ground and line drives. And, you know what, to do it your last at bat, 0-2, you know what I mean? But just my teammates running out on the field, you know, it's like, that's what people don't understand. That's how close we were. They really, they wanted it probably just as much or more than I did.
Well, pickoff play here at second base. It is not going to be in time, as guessing, as Colton Wong ends up getting to second base safely.
Freddie Galvis on this pickoff move. You see Clayton Richard, but then Eric Hosmer accurately throwing. But Freddie Galvis had to go a long way. And immediately he indicated to Andy Green to take a look at that. But I thought that left hand was in safely.
Padres have not decided whether they're going to challenge or not, and apparently they are not. So runner at second, 2 down. There's some great shots of you guys when you're introduced at Yankee Stadium on the line and you take a look at the guys hitting around you. That had to be amazing to have that good a talent hitting wise around you in that lineup.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. You know what I mean? You know, to have the guys set the table, to have guys behind me. And like I said, you know, we really didn't care who got the job done. You know, we knew somebody was going to do it. You know, we just had, you know, we had a philosophy, hey, everybody try to get on base twice. Whatever that, we didn't say everybody get 2 hits. We said everybody get on base twice. You know, Wally started that early in the year, and we just rolled with it. You know, if you got to walk, you know, next man up. You know, if you didn't get it done, hey, pull for your teammate. You know, we all play for the name on the front, and the back took care of itself. So good that I got traded after that.
Vonnie, with 2 outs, obviously, this could be short-lived, but for Trevor Hoffman to go in the Hall of Fame, how special is that for all of us to know that we're going to be there in July and watch him be inducted in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, it's a perfect ending to that, you know, to that team. You know what I mean? We lost so many guys from that team that, you know, Hoffy, the ultimate teammate, the ultimate father, husband, and just like all-around good guy. You know what I mean? He's a man's man, but he's a humble man, you know, and you know, with the accolades that he's accomplished, you know, a lot of guys would know how to act with that. But Trevor, he's still same old Trevor.
Greg Vaughn, thanks for coming up. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for
Good
having
to see
me.
you.
Love
Thank
you, Hootie.
Love you, Shota.
Now for our Valley View Casino trivia question. Tweet us your answers at the end of the inning, and the answer will have to be later. Greg Vaughn is the question. Hit 50 home runs in 1998, 4th most in the majors. Name the 3 players who hit more in 98.
I know 2 of them.
I know 2 of them. The third one is tricky, though.
Yeah,
I thought I knew the third one, and I threw it out there to the truck, and they told me that I was wrong.
You know, it was so great about the 98. Obviously, 98 wins for that team. Special year for San Diego, but it was a special year for baseball. Baseball really had an uptick of interest. So many exciting moments throughout that season.
A big part of that is standing in the Padres dugout, the bench coach. As Eric Hosmer, Jose Perella, and Franchi Cordero coming to bat here in the 3rd inning. Wainwright with a count of 3-1. An intern for a broadcaster by the name of Bob Starr used to do Angels games and Rams games back in the day. He used to say if a pitcher was working the way Wainwright is today, he is working without a net. And that is exactly what you feel like today. I mean, he's
so
living
true.
very dangerously.
So true. And obviously his defense, relying on his defense. He's been pitching around the strike zone, which is not the typical command you're going to get from an Adam Wainwright. But he has gotten himself out. Bases loaded in the 1st. Hot smash to Paul DeYoung, and then the big double play in the 2nd inning.
2nd straight inning, he has walked the leadoff hitter. And it brings up Jose Perella. His 60th pitch of his outing is going to be a strike, even though Perella kind of jumped back out of the way. 4-game hitting streak for Perella coming in at 375. A strikeout victim in the first inning.
You know what, Don, I think when you think about Adam Wainwright, you understand the respect is immediate because of what he's done in his career. But why he is thought of that well throughout the game of baseball is when he doesn't have his stuff, he can still grind it out. Those are the guys that you have to fear, because he'll create different ways and make a pitch when he needs it.
I kind of wonder, having gotten through those 2 innings in tough situations, that maybe he would settle in here a little bit when the leadoff walk starts this inning. And
to me, it's just pride when it comes down to trying to get as much length as you can. You know you don't have your typical stuff. You're going with a different arm angle, but you're trying to create ways to get through these innings.
Kind of willing his way through this outing.
And so many times you hear about reinventing yourself. That's exactly what I'm seeing right in front of me. Adam Wainwright dropping his arm down and not having the typical command. He's really losing that ball on his arm side.
More balls than strikes thrown in his outing, with Hosmer at first, held on over there by Jose Martinez. Low and away, and a full count. That's 2 strikeouts. Perella is one of them. Clayton Richard was the other.
3-2 count. You're probably going to set Eric Hosmer in motion here.
Hosmer is off, and Perella fouls it off to the screen. With more on Adam Wainwright, let's check back in with Bob.
You know, it's interesting to watch him pitch today, guys, because as Sweens, you've talked about, he is trying to reinvent himself, and sometimes it's out of inspiration, sometimes it's out of desperation. And when your elbow's not feeling well, you start trying to do whatever you possibly can to try to get some outs any way you can. I think that's what we're seeing here today, guys. We've seen the fastball velocity drop from 89 in the first inning down to 84. He is just doing anything and everything he can to find a way to get some soft contact and get some outs and not decimate his bullpen.
Runner goes, bats ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks allowed by Wainwright. 5 walks in all in 2+ innings.
If you're Mike Matheny, the manager of the Cardinals, you look up and see 2 zeros, and you're wondering how that's happening, how I'm going to be able to manage throughout this game, knowing that Adam Wainwright can't go much longer.
So 2 on, nobody out, and Franchy Cordero walked himself in the first inning. Fouls it back for strike 1. Well, the Padres leaving the bases loaded in the first inning. Runners at first and second with 1 out when Travis Jankowski grounded into the 6-3 double play. Now they have 2 on, nobody out here in the third. This is unusual. Adam Wainwright with 5 walks ties his career high.
Wow.
There's nobody out here in the third inning. Jumps ahead though, 1-2 as he changed up. This pitch will be the 70th of his outing through 2+ innings. Hosmer at second, Perella at first. Two and two.
As Bob touched on, the lack of velocity and dipping down even within this start. Those differentials between the breaking ball and the fastball make it a little bit easier for the Padres to make those adjustments. You can almost look out over the plate and react in if you have to.
Strike 3 call. Cordero is getting the arms out of the way, and the high strike call made by Chad Whitson. That is a third strikeout for Wainwright, and that's out number 1.
Creating different pitches. This ball's up out of the strike zone, but it had the movement to come back on. I think that's just a pitch that Adam Wainwright gets in a big situation.
2 on, 1 away, and Rafi Lopez coming up. He walked in the first inning. John Gant is up in the pen again for the Cardinals. 3rd straight inning. He's been warming. He's throwing a complete game out there in the pen.
I wonder how his stuff is.
Not really throwing anymore. He is very much ready should they choose to go to him. Always had the feel here, at least in the first 2+ innings, that Wainwright is like a batter away from coming out of this game.
Sure is.
He keeps getting out of it. He's fallen behind 2-0. It is the 6th time that he has fallen behind 2-0. Make it 3-0. The breakdown for him. Next pitch will be his 75th of the afternoon.
This might be his last pitch as well if he ends up walking him.
And he does, not close, and that will load the bases. And here comes Maddox. So the pitching coach headed out there after the 6th walk allowed by Wainwright, the 2nd time that he has walked Rafi Lopez. Visit for the Cardinals. Another bases loaded opportunity here for the Padres, and it'll be Corey Spangenberg coming up. He came up with the bases loaded in the 1st inning and grounded out. That 6th walk, a new career high. Adam Wainwright.
Now, to me, if you're Corey Spangenberg, you're getting in the batter's box. Really, it comes into it's a 3-1, 2-0 count situation. You're looking for a specific pitch in your perfect area.
Bases filled with Padres. 1 down. And Spangenberg takes strike 1. Starts him with a breaking ball, picks up that outside corner. There is strike 2. Same pitch, same result.
Well, he goes to his number 1 pitch that he absolutely loves, that feel for the breaking ball. It's been very inconsistent today, but drops 2 in there against Spangenberg.
Spangenberg grounds it foul, stays alive here. He's allowed only 2 hits, a single by Hosmer in the center field in the 1st inning, and Manuel Margot a little bloop single in the infield in the 2nd inning. This will be the 25th pitch of the inning coming up for Wainwright. The 79th of his outing through 2 1/3 innings. Spangenberg lines one to right field. That's in for a base hit. From 3rd comes Hosmer. He will score, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Corey Spangenberg drives in the game's 1st run.
Well, he thought he was going to go back to the breaking ball. He goes to the cutter, and it sits right over the middle of the plate. Corey Spangenberg takes that mistake to right field. Nice 2-strike hitting by the 3rd baseman.
Mike Matheny out to make the pitching change here with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Padres have taken a 1-0 lead.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
In the midst of the last of the third inning, and Adam Wainwright, hearing from his manager Mike Matheny, who goes over to check on him here, coming out of the game after 2 1/3. Charged with 1 run so far, ends up throwing 79 pitches, 41 balls, 38 strikes, career high 6 walks. And a new pitcher on now for the Cardinals, John Gant, into the game.
As we take a look at his stats, 3 games, 1 start on the record, so that's the long man for the Cardinals. 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Yet to give up a hit against right-handed pitching, right-handed hitters, excuse me.
Comes in here in a bases loaded situation, 1 down, and Freddie Galvis the batter. In there for strike 1. Galvis walked in the second inning. Gant had been up in every inning so far and finally gets into this game here in the third. Bouncing in and blocked by Carson Kelly.
Kelly does a nice job back there, especially keeping the balls in front. You see that split finger. He ends up maybe even touching the part of that plate, which makes it very difficult. No Yadier Molina this whole series on the disabled list. They turn it over to their top prospect for the catching ranks.
Started with Hosmer walking, Pirela walking. Cordero struck out. Lopez walked to load the bases before the RBI single to right by Corey Spangenberg. Bases reloaded, 1 down. And a 2-1 to Galvis. In the air to center field. Tommy Pham going back, and he'll make the catch. Tagging at third base is Pirela. He will score the second run of the day for the Padres, who lead it 2-0 on a sac fly by Freddie Galvis.
Well, Freddie Galvis, very good job with the ball down in the strike zone, putting the barrel on it. I thought this was going to get by Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham does a nice job tracking this ball down. This could have got ugly if it gets past him.
So 2 down in the inning now, and it brings up Manuel Margot batting out of the 8th spot. And he'll drop in there for strike 1.
Seen a lot of first pitch breaking balls to Manny Margot.
Five for 8 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position on the year.
And that's clutch.
To be able to lock in this type situation. Down 0-2. Gant's fastball at 93, so up a few ticks from where Adam Wainwright was.
He's got to turn up the dial offensively, but you've seen so many pitches up and down through the order, and that's a good sign. Starting to track balls. You get that comfort level even later in the game.
Margot fouls it off in the batter's box and still down 0-2. Wainwright responsible for the 2 men on, and Lopez at second and Spangenberg at first base. He's already been charged with 2 runs in his 2 1/3 innings of work today. Ended up throwing 79 pitches. Banks at 0-2. Padres left 3 men on in the first. Runner on in the second inning. And Green would like to cash in for some more here. These opportunities. Total of 6 walks handed out by Wainwright before he left. 2 runs so far here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for Clayton Richard to work with. Margot hits a pop-up into shallow left. Shortstop DeYoung out to make the catch in shallow left that ends the inning. But 2 runs in the inning for the Padres. Spangenberg scoring Hosmer, and then Galvis a sac fly. 2-0 Padres. We head to the top half of the 4th inning, and it's time now to answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. The question earlier was, Greg Vaughn hit 50 home runs in 1998, 4th most in Major League Baseball that year. Can you name the other players who hit more? McGuire, Sosa, and Ken Griffey Jr. That's who we didn't get. Swing Dog.
I think Ken Griffey Jr. was in Seattle that year.
I think you're right.
It's pretty impressive.
Tony Gwynn Jr. joins us as we move here to the 4th inning.
I really thought McGuire and Sosa made such an impact on the game, because it was back then it wasn't necessarily social media. It was picking up a newspaper, and I think everyone wanted to know, what did they do that night?
Yeah, seemed like they were hitting home runs nightly on the same day.
The Padres getting 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and now here in the 4th. Harrison Bader leading it off. Long wait for Clayton Richard. He's had a few long waits, but has come back very strongly.
Yeah, and this is important for a shutdown inning for Clayton Richard, especially after you score. The Padres have had more opportunities to try to give him some run support. Remember last time they didn't get him any run support, and he lost work in 8 innings.
That is strike 3. Bader didn't think so. He'll take with him the 5th strikeout for Clayton Richard, who's got good control today.
Sure does, and it's on the glove side too. He's been pounding these right-handers in. A mixture of breaking balls sets up this fastball to pitch backwards.
Second time Harrison Bader is down by way of the K. And it'll bring up Jose Martinez. Flied out to right in the first, 0 for 1. 40th pitch coming up for Clayton Richard, working here in the 4th inning. We had Greg Vaughn on here last inning. It was great to see him and relive some of his memories from that 1998 season. What do you remember about him that year?
Life of the party. This is what I remember about Greg. And he's still the life of the party, really.
Off the hill here is Richard to throw to first for out number 2.
So from a baseball standpoint, you've heard Swain mention it pretty much all week. He was the guy that kept that train running. I mean, he put the team on his back, and it was a treat to watch him. I mean, San Diego had never really seen a home run hitter like Greg Vaughn, and he just took off in those 2 years that he was here.
Yeah, I thought he was unbelievable, and what a lot of people don't realize is he used positive reinforcement for a lot of his success because he was looking for that consistency like we all do. So he watched his home run video every single day when he got to the ballpark, and he kept on adding and adding and adding onto that video, and it snowballed. It was really a huge influence on our offense. That's what you need. When you have a championship year, you have to have some career years, and that's what it was for Greg Vaughn. And obviously, you sprinkle in the rest of the talent on that roster.
In the air down the right field line out of play. I know you all had nicknames. I was going to ask him if he actually liked being called Hootie and the Blowfish.
Well, he doesn't have a choice.
He didn't have a choice, yeah.
And listen, there is a fear factor because when you start calling him Hootie the Blowfish, you think he's going to drop you at any moment. But it doesn't matter. He's such a fun-loving spirit.
On the ground up the middle into center field, and Marcelo Zuna.
Well, here is Darius Rucker with the first pitch today.
He's doing country music now, is he not?
He is. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's very, very versatile. But hey, listen, Hootie, go to the rubber too next time.
How about that?
Come on.
How about that?
He's lucky I didn't drop that on him when he came in here.
He was talking about his velocity.
Yeah,
how good
velocity.
It was.
Throwing in front of it on the grass.
Goodness, if he threw the first pitch out of a Little League game, it would have been short.
2 down. Ozuna is at first base.
It is, Greg.
Yeah, he's probably looking at a monitor. I don't think he likes that.
He's gonna bust me up. I know that.
Yeah, funny guy that.
Absolutely love him. Love him.
Drops in there for a strike. 1-1.
I know your dad was a huge influence on Greg's career and his success. Took him in and really taught him a lot about how he could prepare for a game as well.
I think that was the first time Greg had really heard some simple terms as it pertained to hitting and the mechanics of it. And you know, I remember my dad distinctly always telling him, just get your foot down, just get your foot down. And Greg lived by that, it seemed like, the rest of the time he was in San Diego.
Ground ball deep short. Galva's going to go to second for the force out there. That ends the inning. Through 3.5, it's 2-0 San Diego.
Which ones do you find the most useful for measuring a current player's value?
That's interesting, honestly, because I'm not a sabermetrics guy. I know how important it is to the game. I'm not being ignorant about it. But when it comes down to it, I tried to simplify it as much as possible. I would say WAR would probably come to mind.
Yeah.
And when I think of WAR, I think of Mike Trout and why he is the best player in the game of baseball, in my opinion. Because he really is. It's WAR. It's wins above replacement.
You're not into launch angle?
I'm not into launch angle.
How about exit velocity? How do you feel about that?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like exit velocity, but I don't think it's a determining factor of how good you are.
And this speaks to this. I was watching the Pirates and the Giants today. The Giants had hit 6 balls that were over like 104 miles per hour. All were outs.
Yeah. Really? So that's doing you no good, really, of any value.
Get it hard as you want. If the defense is in place, it doesn't matter.
You know, there's one that I kind of laughed at when it first came out that now I'm actually kind of buying into is spin rate for pitchers. I really do. I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing, and it always was a thing. That to me, I don't look at it like it wasn't a determining factor. You had guys as hitters, you get in the batter's box and say, man, this guy's got some life on his ball. It wasn't spin rate, but you knew he had some carry, and you had to get on top of that baseball. But there were certain players, and to me, I look at Max Scherzer. He's one of those guys. I don't know what his spin rate is. I don't know what it is, but I bet you it is good because he has a lot of life at the top of the zone, and swing and miss on a fastball really is the indication for that.
A reminder, fans, you can send us your question. Use the hashtag BuzzTheBoothSD, and we'll answer it during an upcoming broadcast. That's hashtag BuzzTheBoothSD. Swing and a miss, and striking out is Clayton Richard here in the 4th inning. Well, it's time now for the tools of the trade, brought to you by Ram Trucks.
What was so important is defensively for Travis Jankowski. He's playing no doubles defense, and this had a lot of topspin on the ball. Being a right-handed right fielder really was a benefit in that situation because the glove work looked like it was simple for Travis. If you're left-handed, you're going across your body, maybe even diving forward. Which makes that play even more difficult.
1 down. Jankowski 0 for 2 in this game, has grounded out twice. And it's a ground ball through the left side into left field, a base hit. Aboard for the first time today. He's getting a chance to play every day, lead off, and it's coming together for Jankowski.
Well, interesting. You see Carson Kelly indicating to the right side of the infield it's going to be an off-speed pitch, and he's going to pull it. Well, Travis Jankowski does the better of that pitch and goes the other way, staying inside the baseball and beating that shift. I like how Carson Kelly is trying to indicate to the infielders what's going to happen, because typically you're going to pull that pitch because you're going to get out front.
Here's Eric Hosmer with 1 out. First to check on Jankowski.
The interesting thing about that is, even though it was an off-speed pitch, it was an off-speed pitch that was supposed to be away. And if a hitter is doing what he's supposed to do, you're going to hit the ball that out. You're going to take that ball where it's pitched and hit it that exact same place. What Kelly did indicates to me that most hitters are taking that pitch, as you said, and trying to yank it into that 4-hole over there.
Hosmer's been aboard twice today. Single to center in the first, walked in, scored in the third.
Now, this is when you would like to see Travis Jankowski be aggressive.
Yeah.
There he goes. Hosmer will take a pitch for a strike. Throw down is not going to be in time. Stole a base for Jankowski.
Tremendous patience there by Jankowski. Gant held that ball for a long time, and that's usually how you get runners out of their rhythm. Jankowski stays patient, gets a tremendous jump, and the way he runs, it wouldn't, even with a perfect throw, that he's going to be safe there.
The scoring position he goes. Padres today 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and Hosmer's got a chance here to cash in. off 1-2.
It was so impressive about Travis on that steal right there. A lot of times when pitchers hold like that, you see guys who are on first start flinching, they start jumping, and that throws you out of your rhythm. Jankowski stayed calm, relaxed, and the first movement he saw towards that plate, he took off. Perfect execution there by Travis Jankowski.
Did he go? No. They check with Manny Gonzalez, third base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Hosmer. Gant took over for Adam Wainwright, who is currently on the hook. Wainwright at 2 1/3, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 6, and struck out 3. That is strike 3, and Hosmer knew it as he takes with him the second strikeout for John Gant. 2 down.
Well, it looked like he was sitting on breaking ball because this fastball freezes him. 93 miles an hour, middle away. Pitch you definitely want to fire at.
Now 2 down here in the 4th inning brings up Jose Perella. 3rd plate appearance of the day. First time he's faced John Gant. Strikeout and a walk today, and a guy who hits at .429 in this spot. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. What's different about your focus in this situation for some guys who come up with guys in scoring position?
I think you have to know what the pitcher's trying to do, obviously what type of hitter you are, and then it just becomes about executing the pitch that you want to attack and taking a good swing on it. I think too many times guys get in there and they just outthink themselves in the box. But a guy like Jose Perella, you see he's having some success in these situations, and it just boils down to simplifying and getting the pitch that you want to handle and taking a good swing.
Yeah, I think all the good RBI guys that you watch and you learn from, it has a lot to do with having the ability to use the big part of the field the opposite way in RBI situations. And when they make that mistake with a breaking ball, you deposit it in the seats.
Fastball up and a pretty good rip there by Perella, but can't get it. 1-1. I mean, is your mindset, I'm going to drive this guy in?
Yeah,
I mean,
and you know what your mindset also has to be is the pressure's on him.
Right.
Sometimes you want to just, you put so much pressure on you as a young player. When you get that experience, it really shifts to the pitcher. And I think that's the indication of how good you are in these situations.
Perella grounds one into left field. From second base comes Jankowski. Padres going to take a 3-0 lead on an RBI double by Jose Perella. Let's take a look at our Arco top tier play.
Yeah, rolling breaking ball, and you see that process. You're looking for that fastball, and you can react to that bad breaking ball. Jose Perella pounding this baseball for an RBI. And what I love about Jose Perella, you always get energy. After the ball is hit, he continues to press the issue with an easy double.
He came out the box so hard in that at bat right there. Ozuna didn't even try to make a play at second.
Now Franchy Cordero with a runner at second. He'll take ball 1. And you're going to love the way he gets out of the box. Usually rounds first. Always has that look. He's thinking about a double, even if he's not.
Right. You can always control your effort, and you have to. And when you see some of the guys, maybe they back off a little bit at times because they have some injuries. Jose Perella does not back off any time. It's easy to love that type of effort.
Cordero through the left side into left field. Perella's going to be waved around. No throw from Ozuna, and the Padres take a 4-0 lead. Franchy Cordero driving in a run.
So many times in this situation, we've seen Padres earlier in this year think they're getting heaters, but usually with runners on scoring position, you're going to get more off-speed pitches than you are fastballs. You see Franchi Cordero gets the changeup, attacks a pitch that's up in the zone. And look, he hits that ball off the end of the bat, but because his bat is in the zone so long, he hits through the baseball. Not to it, he gets through the baseball, finds some space in that 5-5 hole. He's got himself an RBI single.
Still 2 outs in the inning, all the runs scoring with 2 outs in the inning. And here's Rafi Lopez, who walked twice against Adam Wainwright. Wainwright was charged with 2 runs. Now John Gant has been touched for 2 runs. Nobody warming in the Cardinals pen right now. Gant's going to have to go a while here in their bullpen situation with short start today by Wainwright. Long ball game last night. Time called as Gant holds on to the baseball a long time.
Another good job by Padres base runners. Gant again with the long hold. You looking at Franchi Cordero, he does not flinch. Does not get over anxious.
In the air to right center field. Tommy Pham, the right fielder, Bader. And it's Bader who makes the catch out there that ends the inning. 2 more for the Padres, who take a 4-0 lead to the 5th.
My mom, I think that the Venezuelan football, the way my mama make it, I think that's unique.
She makes an Italian dish called chicken scallopini, and I really enjoy it.
They made beef with coconut and beans and rice too.
Is that what makes you fast and big and strong?
Yeah, I think.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there today as we come to you from beautiful San Diego. Not a cloud in the sky today, and the result pretty good so far for the Padres, who have a 4-0 advantage to the top half of the 5th inning. Paul DeYoung to lead it off here for St. Louis. His gold jacket is getting rave reviews on Twitter today.
Is it really?
Yes.
Is that mustard?
I don't know what that is.
I would say it's mustard.
Drop of mustard on that. That's nice.
I can thank my wife for that. She dresses me.
Does a nice job.
She does.
Pocket square goes well with everything.
A little rose pocket square today for Mother's Day.
It's unbelievable.
Paul DeYoung struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. How do you get your knot so big?
Oh,
love your knot.
I'm gonna have to show you that.
Mine is
one
like
of these days.
Terrible. Every day. It's like it's too small and tight. I mean, 'cause
jealous.
I got a lot of wide stuff up here. I mean, a lot of neck.
Don't we all?
A lot of face. And I got this little knot. You know, it's no good.
You need a knot to match your face.
Exactly. Big and puffy. That is strike 3. And DeYoung knew it. Takes it to the dugout. That is 6 strikeouts for Richard. Second time DeYoung is down by way of the K.
So much the indication of how good your stuff is the called third strikes. And Clayton Richard's getting a lot of them, especially on his fastball today. They're guessing the wrong pitch. Clayton Richard continues to pound the strike zone.
Yeah, unlike last night, you're seeing a lot of these batters walk away without really any argument.
No, we've seen 0 so far. I mean, they know it. 1 down, and Carson Kelly singled to center field in the 3rd inning. One of only 3 hits allowed today by Clayton Richard, who works here in the 5th inning with 1 down. A ball left side, Spangenberg. 2 down in the 5th. Streaks were made to be broken. Make history and win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS. 2 down in the 5th. And that'll bring up Colton Wong. Wong grounding into a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. And on the grass at 3rd is Spangenberg in case Wong entertains any thoughts of dropping down a bunt. So a very quiet series, 0 for 9.
Did you get your wife some flowers today?
You know what? I've stopped doing that because my wife hates flowers on Mother's Day. It's quite weird to me. So I have to make sure I have a card ready for her in the morning, and that's all she really wants. We'll go out to dinner tonight, though.
Well, you know you can't say that. It's quite strange because it's Mother's Day. That's
Touche.
mistake number 1.
Touche.
That commentary is probably best kept to yourself.
Yes. I think I said weird. I thought I said, but either way, I probably shouldn't have used it. You're right.
Yeah, that can go south.
Whatever she thinks is good is I think is good.
Very true.
Swing and a miss, and Wong strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 7 in the outing for Richard. 4-0 Padres. We go, and it's time now for the San Diego fans of the game joining Padres baseball on this Mother's Day here at Petco Park. to the bottom of the 5th, and Corey Spangenberg leading it off. Spangenberg with an RBI single in the 3rd inning. Kent's about to throw his 30th pitch of relief since coming in. Threw about 3 innings worth out in the pen before he even came into this game. He warmed up quite a bit.
Yeah. Wainwright being on a short leash today. Kent probably had an idea that there was a chance he'd be in this game early.
Swing and a miss, and he makes quick work of Corey Spangenberg here in the 5th. That's the 3rd strikeout for Gant since coming into this game. 1 down.
Gant going with back-to-back changeups there to get the punch out on Spangenberg.
So 1 down for Freddie Galvis. He has walked and had a sacrifice fly today. He was the first batter that John Gant faced coming into the game, and Galvis with a sac fly that scored Perella. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Now running up in the box and grabbing the attention of the corner infielders. Adam Wainwright is on the hook, going 2 1/3, giving up 2 runs today. Walked a career high 6 batters. On the ground, right side, and that'll find its way into right field. First hit of the day for Freddie Galvis, who's on for the 2nd time.
Now the split finger, and you see it down in the strike zone. Freddie Galvis again puts the barrel on it. One-handed swing. Sometimes that works because you can hit it by Wong if you hit that barrel of the baseball. Freddie Galvis getting some love there.
1 out, 1 on, and it brings up Manuel Margot. 1 for 2 today, a single back in the 2nd inning. Wind has picked up here, kind of a swirling wind inside Petco Park. Cardinals starting the day in a tie with the Pirates for the top spot in the NL Central. Padres will be heading to Pittsburgh after a brief 2-game series against the Rockies here to round out the homestand here at Petco Park. First and only visit to Pittsburgh this year for San Diego. Throw to first, and a stutter step back to the bag for Galvis.
Seen the Rockies a lot this year, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We're there twice in April in Denver.
Wow. Weird schedule.
They've been here already, right?
Yes, they have. Once, yeah.
Elevates at 92, and it's 0-2.
Seen 2 fastballs up to Margot. I would anticipate that split finger coming. Seen the importance of getting it down. And although Galvis was able to find a way to get the barrel on it and get a hit, he's had some success when it's down. Cordero hit a split that was up. He singled on it. He's got to get this pitch down.
action in the pen since Gant came in. Gonna go a while here after the starter. Wainwright just 2 1/3. Margot sends one out towards right center field. Bader, the right fielder, is there to make the catch and fires back into the infield. Galvis back to the bag at first. 2 down. I mentioned the Rockies coming in for a brief 2-game series beginning tomorrow night. We look at Nolan Arenado's last 10 games, starting to pick it up in a big way. And Trevor Story has 10 home runs, tied for second among major league shortstops. Tyler Anderson in his career against the Padres, nifty 1.80 earned run average in 5 starts. Series begins tomorrow night. Play a night game and a day game before the Padres head to Pittsburgh. End of this 3-team homestand for the Padres. Richard, who has struck out twice today, facing John Gant for the 2nd time today.
Clayton doesn't look like he's getting cheated in any of the bats.
Why not? That big home run in Colorado. Put up a crooked number.
Down 0-2. That is strike 3, and Richard strikes out for the 3rd time today. 4-0 Padres through 5. Dazzling today. He's been terrific through 5, has 7 strikeouts. Adam Wainwright on the other side, not so much, as lining one into right field is Corey Spangenberg, scoring Hosmer with the first run. Then down the line at third base for Pirela. That would score Jankowski. Padres had a 3-0 lead. And Frenchie Cordero takes it the other way, and Pirela will come around to score. And the Padres enjoy a 4-0 advantage as we head into the 6th inning. Wainwright chased after just 2 1/3. Most pitches he's thrown ever in 2 1/3 innings, 79 of them today. Richard still in this game after 5 shutout innings and ready to go here in the top of the 6th inning. John Gant batting for himself, staying in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I think Mike Matheny, the manager of the Cardinals, is forced to be able to do this. He had to make a move today for Adam Wainwright to come off the disabled list, and he doesn't go long at all. It changes the whole complexion of the week for the Cardinals.
Softly hit to short, and Galvis with a very good play. He was charging in. By the time he got rid of that ball, he was well past second base and on the infield grass.
Could have been whistled for traveling here, but comes in on this ball.
2, 3, 4, yeah, I guess.
But that's what Freddie does so well. I mean, that play is not an easy play to make, but he seems to make it look easy time and time again.
5 in a row retired by Clayton Richard. 1 down here in the 6th. And it brings up Tommy Pham. 0 for 2 from the top spot today for the Cardinals.
0 for 5 last night. So the Padres have continued to do a nice job against Tommy Pham. So a nice season. See the 322 average.
And a couple of home runs in the first game of this series.
He had 4 hits in the first 2 games in which St. Louis won. Padres have kept him in check yesterday. They win that game. Kept him in check today so far.
Next pitch will be the 70th of the day for Richard, who's been fairly economical today through 5 1/3.
47 strikes. Think about the balls. Only 24 of those, but they've been on purpose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's the breakdown by inning. Started well, just the 9 pitches in the first. Full count with 1 down here in the inning. Almost hit him and Pham down to first base. That is just the first walk of the day allowed by Clayton Richard.
Arco, quality top-tier gas for less.
A 1-out walk for Clayton Richard takes us to Harrison Bader. 0 for 2 today. The right fielder for the Cardinals has struck out swinging and looking. Lines one towards the gap in right center field. That's going to get down and go all the way to the track of the wall. So Tommy Pham, who can fly, making his way around the bases. He'll score on a triple for Harrison Bader. The Cardinals are on the board here in the 6th inning.
Oh, you see the pitch. This is elevated, the fastball, and there's not too many elevated fastballs today by Clayton Richard. You have to capitalize it. That's exactly what Harrison Bader does. Talked about Tommy Pham running and scoring on this. Harrison Bader, man, can he pick him up and put it down? It's a different gear, especially when it gets by Margot. An easy triple. Slides in head first and really didn't need to.
Watch Bader before the first game of the series out here working on his base running. Got the sense that he runs these bases pretty hard and he can pick him up and put him down, as you said, Mark.
Jose Martinez 0 for 2 has flied out to right and grounded back to the mound. Four for 13 in the series.
You're right, Swain. Clayton hasn't made very many mistakes up in the zone, and that one caught more plate than some of the mistakes he has made that have been up in the zone.
Grounded out, the walk to Tommy Pham, first walk of the day, allowed by Richard, quickly turns into a run after the RBI triple by Harrison Bader, is at third. Now this is up the middle into center field. RBI single as Bader scores from third, and the Cardinals have cut the Padres lead in half. It's now 4-2 San Diego.
Well, after that 2-0 swing, you almost heard Marcelo Zuna in the on-deck circle ask him to work the middle of the field. That's exactly what he does. RBI situation and money in the bank when you do that. Hard ground ball by Martinez.
Now this pitch is down, but again, it catches more Clayton. In the last 2 starts with Clayton, he's done such a good job of really staying on those corners, and when he missing off the plate, that one catches a little bit too much plate, and Martinez does what really he's been doing all year. Gets the ball hard back up the middle, scores a run.
First action we've seen all day today in the pen has started. There's Marcell Ozuna coming up here. You're in the middle of this Cardinals order, and they put together 2 quick runs. Ozuna already 2 for 2 today, singling to left and to center.
He's had a good series too, 7 for 15. But what a time for a double play right here.
Eight ground ball outs in this game induced by Clayton Richard.
Ozuna has hit into 3 double plays on the year.
Richard get Jed Jerko to ground into 1 back in the second. Now a sharply hit ball to third. Spangenberg go to second for 1. On to first. There's your double play. Around the horn, 5 to 4 to 3. 2 runs for the Cardinals, 4-2 Padres. In their half of the 6th inning, it's on to the bottom of the 6th inning and the top of the Padres order to lead it off. And Travis Jankowski. Travis 1 for 3 today, a single, stolen base and a run scored, and fouls this one off by the Cardinals dugout.
You know, with those 2 runs for the Cardinals, you have to answer back. That's so important for an offense. Diffuse that momentum that the Cardinals gained that last half inning.
So important for the Padres, but it could be mentally taxing on the Cardinals to give up those runs right back.
By the mound, Wong will bobble and have no play at first. Too much speed for Jankowski. See how they rule this. You knew he had to hurry.
Well, what was interesting is he plays this to a backhand. I think he could have rounded it a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to throw when you round it and glove it, but he does the backhand and the bobble. There is no way you're getting Jankowski.
Her charge to the second baseman. So an E4, and it brings up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer grounds one sharply to short, to second for 1, on to first for 2. So the error not costly, turning into a 6-4-3 double play. Second double play of the day turned by the Cardinals.
My guess is that the exit velocity on that was pretty hard as well. But again, right at the shortstop DeYoung. And we've seen his fielding really all series long be right on point.
Yeah, we touched on it earlier in the broadcast, and I know you touched on it in the pregame. Been so impressive, especially from the defensive side. Always seems like he's in the right position, making those standard plays, but also the tougher plays he's made look pretty simple.
Yeah.
Jose Perella batting with 2 outs and the base is empty. Perella struck out swinging in the first, walked and scored in the third, doubled to drive in a run and scored in the 4th inning. Line and caught by DeYoung at short on the fly to end the inning. To the 7th we go, 4-2 Padres. Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Sycuan Casino, opening in 2019 as Sycuan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. By Petco, the pet company. And by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. Another Military Sunday here at Petco Park in San Diego. Back out there for the 7th is Clayton Richard. That was pitch number 81 of his outing to former Padre Jed Jerko, leading it off here in the 7th inning, grounding one softly down the third baseline. Spangenberg on the run. The throw is picked by Hosmer.
Wow.
Nice play.
This is a spectacular play on both ends. You see Corey Spangenberg has to get it off. He knows it's the one hop. And Eric Hosmer holding in and holding his ground with that runner bearing down on that glove. What glove work by the Gold Glover, Eric Hosmer.
Makes the play and still on the contact, doesn't lose the baseball. One down here in the 7th inning, and Paul DeYoung the batter. There's action in the Padres pen as this inning begins for Clayton Richard. In the air, down the first base line. Hosmer going as far as he can, but no play. Elevated for a ball, 1-2. Richard finally got touched up in the 6th inning for 2 runs after 5 shutout innings. Back to get people out again. That is strikeout number 8 for Clayton Richard. 2 down here in the 7th inning. That ties the season high with the 8 strikeouts.
Tell you what, when you're in the position to put people away, that's what Clayton Richard has done today. He's typically been on that glove side. See the breaking ball.
Third time today DeYoung is down by way of the K. He's had a tough day against Richard. 2 down here in the 7th, and here's Carson Kelly, the Cardinals catcher. In the air to left field, where Frenchie Cordero makes his way over and under to make the catch that ends the 7th inning. A quick and easy one for Clayton Richard, who has a 1-2-3 top of the 7th inning. And the Padres enjoy a 4-2 lead here. 7th inning stretch from Petco Park in San Diego, and we'll keep it here for the singing of God Bless America.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Before we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game here on Military Sunday, please stand and welcome back military spouse Katrina Pesic. Please sing along as she presents God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Diego is the community partner of the month, presented by Kaiser Permanente. Today is part of MLB's annual Going to Bat Against Breast Cancer initiative. Sandra Lopez of San Diego is honored on the field as the 2018 honorary Batgirl for the Padres. Her fight against breast cancer has been an inspiration to the San Diego community, as we will hear about Sandra's story later in the game. We play along here to the last of the 7th inning. The Cardinals move on to their 3rd pitcher of the day, as Brett Cecil offers up the first pitch to Franchi Cordero at the bottom of the 7th inning. Franchi has walked, struck out, and singled. Second appearance of the series for Brett Cecil.
Pitched last night's 10th inning, inducing Eric Hosmer into a double play. Reverse splits. You see the lefties with a .500 average. He was activated off the disabled list on Friday.
Cordero, Lopez, and Spangenberg scheduled to bat here in the 7th inning. Padres on top by 2. Fly ball down the left field line. Ozuna headed over towards the stands and won't have a play. John Gant leaving after 3 2/3 innings of relief. Really logged a lot of time. 4 hits. Gave up 2 runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 4. On the hook for the Cardinals, their starter tonight, Adam Wainwright. 2 1/3, giving up 2 runs. Swing and a miss. That gets away briefly from Kelly, so he's got to throw out Cordero, and he does. A strikeout of Cordero for the first out of the 7th. Let's send it down to Bob Scanlon.
Don, it's Mother's Day, a bittersweet day for Rothy Lopez. It was 2 years ago on the eve of his wedding day that his mom had a brain aneurysm. She was in a coma as he was exchanging his vows on his wedding, and actually she passed away shortly thereafter. That year was extremely difficult for him. Very tough on his professional baseball career. He wallowed, and he realized after a while, look, this is not what my mom would want for me. He turned things around. He became grateful for everything in his life, and he says that change of attitude, as much as anything else, is the reason that he was able to get back to the big leagues. So even in her absence, his mom having an influence as he stands in the big leagues batter's box right now, guys.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Sure, his thoughts are with her today, of course, and this year making the club out of spring training, being sent down to El Paso, but back again with the injury to Austin Hedges, and performing well at the big league level.
Yeah, you've spent some time with Rafi Lopez. You understand how important the game is to him and the love for the game. What a great story in and itself.
Evens up at 2 2. Cecil broke into the big leagues in 2009 with Toronto. He was a Blue Jay until last year. First year with the Cardinals, 73 games out of the pen for St. Louis. 3.88 earned run average, logged 67 1/3 innings a year ago. At one point he was closing games for the Blue Jays. 5 saves in 14, 5 saves in 15 for Toronto. That is strike 3 over the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Cecil, 2 down here in the 7th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
2 down in the 7th, and it brings up Corey Spangenberg. And after it for strike 1. Spangenberg has grounded into a fielder's choice, single to right to drive in a run, and struck out swinging. Grounds one back to the mound. Cecil with a nice play at the base of the hill. Fires to first for the out that ends the inning. We're headed to the 8th inning. 4-2 Padres.
Difference maker for the Brewers, but they had a rookie today, Freddie Peralta, making his major league debut. He'd go 5 2/3 and punch out 13 Rockies. The Brewers lead the Rockies right now 7-3, Tone.
Yeah, that was a heck of a debut for Peralta. I mean, we had our rookie come in there and have a much tougher time. Tough place as a rookie to go in and have a start in general, but to go out there and have a no-hitter going into that 6th inning, it's pretty impressive.
Tony, and I'll see you in a moment after the final out for Padres Live, the postgame show, brought to you by Cox Communications. Don, Mark.
All right, Mike and Tony, thanks very much. Playing here into the 8th inning, and Colton Wong just tried to bunt his way on to begin the inning, but fouled it off and is down 0-1. But Richard back out there to start the 8th anyway. There is action behind him. Earlier we saw Stammen. Now it is Kirby Yates up in the pen. Wong grounds one out of the reach of Richard. Glove to glove, and it is in time. Perella to Hosmer. One down in the 8th inning. Diving play made by Richard to his left, trying to grab that ball, and it ends up just out of his reach.
You can see it just going outside that reach. You could see, and then Perella hustling all the way, and the nice glove work. I thought Richard was going to have that, but then you start seeing the glove work from Perella. You ever played that game of flip?
Yes.
That is
not
a
well.
perfect way to get the job done. Nice job, Jose.
Now one down. Dexter Fowler is going to pinch it here in the pitcher spot, which is Brett Cecil at the moment, and Fowler fouls it off himself. He has struggled at the plate in this series and on the season as well. 147 average, 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in into his 35th game of the year. One for 10 in the series. Six in a row retired right now by Clayton Richard, with one out here in the 8th.
You know, the concern, Don, is really how long this stretch can go for Dexter Fowler. Start getting into mid-May with all those struggles, and that starts getting mental.
Well, he strikes out here in a pinch hitting role. Strikeout number 9 for Clayton Richard. 2 down.
Now the breaking ball into right-handers has been so effective for Clayton Richard today. He's even had some fastballs taken as well. So these Cardinal hitters are continuing to guess for Clayton Richard and guessing wrong.
2 outs here in the 8th inning for Tommy Pham. Top of the order. A strikeout victim in the first, grounded out to third in the third, walked in set the table as he scored for a 2-run 6th inning for the Cardinals. Scored on a triple by Harrison Bader. Grounded foul outside of third.
That's a lot of confidence with your fastball, being able to throw it down the middle, but getting that late movement in the hitting zone.
In the air down the right field line, foul.
You know, it really is the indication when you're talking about a sinker. Brandon Webb comes to mind. One of those guys that could just tell you it was coming. It was like a bowling ball coming. That's what Clayton Richard has today. That improved release point has been a benefit the last 2 starts.
He's doing work for the Diamondbacks pre and post.
He is. Man, I'm telling you, it was a bowling ball. It was one of those things that could start at your shoulder level and be down on the ground. He just had ability, and he could throw it harder. And velocity with a 2-seamer is not really good.
Swing and a miss. I'll tell you who's been good. It's Clayton Richard. That's strikeout number 10. It's Padres baseball brought to you by Hyundai. Get a great deal, more than a great deal, on an all-new Hyundai vehicle. See your Hyundai dealer today. By USAA, official military appreciation partner of the San Diego Padres. And by Nissan, it's time to upgrade. Save big at the Nissan Tech for All sales event. Shop ChooseNissan.com. 4-2, Padres have the lead as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And they'll do so against the 4th Cardinals pitcher of the day, Matt Bowman.
Now, Matt Bowman in his 16th appearance, as you can see. Sinker, breaking ball, and a new improved changeup.
Freddie Galvis leading it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's been on base twice, a walk and an RBI single. Bowman takes over for Brett Cecil in an inning. Got a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. Galvis sends this out towards the gap in left center field, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Pham will play it as Galvis cruises into second base with a double to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, 4 straight solid at-bats today by Freddie Galvis. Obviously, he walks in the first, sacrifice fly on the second, gets the single in the third. But this is the ball that I think Freddie's going to start saying, man, this is what I've been looking to do, trying to drive the ball in especially the opposite way. Good sign by Freddie Galvis and a nice day.
So leadoff double. Now Manuel Margot showing bunt and pulling it back for ball 1. Margot got a big hit back in the second, a 1-for-3 day. Bunting again, and the pitcher is going to go to first base, Bowman, and the sacrifice is complete. 1-3 on the sacrifice as Galvis takes third. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, more ground ball outs, and Clayton Richard, as you could see, throwing bowling balls up there. 12 ground ball outs, 2 double plays, which I thought were huge. In the Flowers, Padres needed hits. And you could see 8 hits, 4 runs scored, and they had Adam Wainwright, the starting pitcher for the Cardinals, on the ropes.
Well, that'll be the day for Clayton Richard, as Carlos Asuaje is going to pinch hit for Richard here with a runner at third and 1 down.
Back-to-back outings of 8 innings of work for Clayton Richard, and today was outstanding.
Infield in all the way around here for the Cardinals. And Asuaje will take ball 1. Clayton's 10 strikeout performance today ties his career high, done June 30th of 2010 against Colorado. The only other time that he's had 10 strikeouts in an outing. Ended up throwing 102 pitches in 8 innings. We said it earlier, he needed to go deep into this game to give the bullpen kind of the rest they need after all the work last night. He did it.
You almost assume that he's going to get it done. His work ethic. That's 3 straight starts over 100 pitches too. But very economical today. And when you start talking about 10 strikeouts, usually that jumps up the pitch count. It didn't do it today.
2-0 pitch to Asuaje. That's a strike, 2-1. Galvis double to begin the inning. The sacrifice bunt for Manuel Margot. Padres trying to obtain some insurance here in the last of the 8th. Three and 1.
Well, Carlos coming off a pinch hit last night. That's a good sign, and that was a line drive to left. See that average hovering right around 200. It's a big situation in the game. That add-on run is such a need.
Travis Jankowski waiting on deck. Strike 2 and a full count. Fouled off to the left out of play. Galvis at third, 1 away here in the 8th. Payoff pitch again to Carlos Asuaje. In the air to right field. Bader going back to make the catch. Tagging at third is Galvis. Here comes the throw. It is very much off the mark. Galvis scores, and the Padres take a 5-2 lead. A sac fly for Carlos Asuaje, and an important insurance run for San Diego.
Yeah, a lot of appreciation for that at bat by Carlos Asuaje. He runs the count full and gets into a situation where he has to attack that fastball. That add-on run is so important for the Padres, especially in that situation.
So 2 down, bases empty, and now Jankowski will take a pitch down and in. 1 for 4 day today for Jankowski.
You look back at how this run was scored, and obviously you see Freddie Galvis driving that ball the opposite way. Nice clean baseball by Manny Margot, who has been struggling offensively. And a sacrifice fly.
Down and in, and it's now 3-2. Last Padres pitcher to go 8 or more innings in back-to-back starts, as Richard has. Andrew Kashner, September 15th and 20th of 2014.
The Cash Man.
A off pitch. And a grounder to shortstop. Paul DeYoung to his left. And the good throw to first base ends the inning. Padres out a run. We go to the ninth. 5-2 San Diego. Clayton Richard, 8 innings, 5 hits, allows 2 runs, walks a batter, and strikes out 10 for the second time in his career. And again, the first time that he struck out 10 since 2010. And Richard dazzled all day today. Paul DeYoung going down 3 times today. The 10 that Clayton registered through 8 innings. Chance for victory if Brad Hand can close the door on the Cardinals here in the 9th inning.
Brad Hand looking for his 11th save in perfect scenario with that add-on run.
10 out of 12 in save opportunities. This is indeed. Harrison Bader leading it off for St. Louis. Bader struck out twice, tripled, and drove in a run. Fly ball down the right field line. Jankowski over towards the Petco porch and gone into it. Home run for Bader starts the 9th inning.
After starting the day off with 2 strikeouts, he ends up getting a triple his last at bat, and then the home run opposite field into the Petco porch. Surprising power by Bader.
So the leadoff home run. Here's Jose Martinez. A big run in that last of the 8 picked up by the Padres. Martinez 1 for 3 today, an RBI single in the 6th inning. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. Carlos Asuaje staying in the game at second base. Took over for Jose Perella. Got that sacrifice fly. Pinch hitting in the bottom of the 8th inning. Strike 2.
Nice day by Jose Perella. 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a double.
Right hand had held opponent scoreless in 13 of his last 14 outings, but gives up a leadoff home run to Harrison Bader here in the 9th inning. Two and two. Now by the shoe tops, and a full count now. Cardinals trying to get that tying run to the plate here.
You know, such an important first out, and why I say that, it just changes the mentality. Off that first hitter home run by Bader, this is an important out, and he's looking for the fastball away.
And that's ball 4. Home run and a walk starts things here in the 9th inning. And will bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out. Marcelo Ozuna coming up here, a 2-hit day already. Singles to left and to center before grounding into a double play in the 6th inning.
3 home runs on the year, 37 last year for the Marlins.
Rafi Lopez going to the mound here to talk to Hand. He'll be joined by some of the infielders coming in as well. You've got Ozuna now and then Jerko next here for the Cardinals. Grounded right side, softly hit, and flipping to first base for the first out is Asuaje. Martinez takes second. But an all important out. That's out number 1. Ozuna retired. Martinez to second, and that'll bring up Jed Jerko.
Jed Jerko likes the ball up, mid-thigh and in. The Padres have done a nice job pitching him down and away. It's exposed Jed Jerko in the last couple of games.
Over for 3 today. Grounding out 3 times, including into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Strike 1. 94-mile-an-hour fastball starts him off. Jose Martinez at second base with one down in the ninth inning. Home run start of the inning by Harrison Bader. The walk by Martinez. It's second on the ground out by Ozuna. 1-1 coming to Jed Jerko. Ball 2, 2-1.
Looks like Jed Jerko is looking for something specific, maybe in an area. Middle in.
Three and one on a fastball running away at 95.
Yeah, the concern right now watching Brad Hand is that fastball command. It's not there. Really losing it on that arm side.
Jerko lifts one foul down the right field line out of play, and it's a full count now. Clayton Richard for 8 innings, giving up 2 runs. Brad Hand coming on for the 9th, trying to finish it off here and gain a split of this 4-game series against the Cardinals. Tying run at the plate with Jose Martinez at second. A payoff pitch. And that one gets away. Martinez will take third, and that is ball 4. So Jerko headed down to first base. So the tying run is now at first. Second walk of the inning allowed by Hand. Andy Green suggesting that that pitch hit him.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
thought it did too. Yeah, it goes off that left elbow.
That's the case. It's a dead ball. And the runner would have to still be at second base in Martinez, but Padres are not going to challenge. Wild pitch gets Martinez to third.
Hit from the side angle and maybe just directing it just a little bit, but Lopez not able to glove that.
First and third with one out, and Paul DeYoung 0 for 3 today, striking out 3 times, but all of that was against Clayton Richard. Takes strike 1.
A big pitch for Brad Hand, even the confidence to be able to throw that first pitch fastball.
On the ground, softly hit foul outside of third, and it's 0-2. So Hand ahead here.
Really, the focus is the hitter, priority number 1, but also Jed Jerko at first base. Martinez run really isn't something that's on the minds of the Padres.
Keeping that tying run out of scoring position, very important. Away, and Lopez to the backhand to grab that. 1-2. Not as sharp as we are accustomed to seeing today so far for Brad Hand. Anxious moments for Andy Green. And he hits DeYoung to load the bases. Ahead of him, 1 and 2, and hits him. So that tying run will get into scoring position. And Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach, headed out.
See the fastball command again. Trying to go up and in to try to get the big strikeout. Getting that left tricep area for DeYoung.
Bases filled with Cardinals, 1 down in the inning, and you got Carson Kelly coming up. A catcher who is 1 for 3 today, a single in the 3rd, a ground out in the 5th, flied out to left field in the 7th, and in his career 1 for 2 against Brad Hand. Kirby Yates now up in the pen for the Padres. There is strike 1. Starts off ahead of Kelly. He'll use a ground ball at somebody here in the infield.
I'll tell you what, he already has 2 ground ball double plays. That would be huge in this situation.
In the air, down the right field line, headed foul, and it is into the seats. Second time this season, Hand has walked a couple of batters and hit a batter in an outing. Did that April 30th at San Francisco. Bases loaded with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Padres on top by 2. One and 2. This was the count in which he hit Paul DeYoung with the next pitch. Didn't miss by much.
You see that breaking ball, but Lopez going to his right. Not going to get that call when it's not located.
Kelly with a swing and a miss. Hand needed that. A strikeout for out number 2 of the 9th inning.
He almost assumed he was going to go to the breaking ball. You could see him just exposing Kelly. 1 hit on the year, and he looked foolish on this breaking ball.
Two down in the 9th inning, and Colton Wong coming up. At Hand and out away from getting out of this with a save. And a Padres victory. Strike 1 over the outside corner.
Back-to-back hitters where strike 1 has been there. Last one against Kelly, a fastball. This one, a breaking ball. Important pitch.
Tying run at second base for the Cardinals. An 0-1 pitch to Wong. That's strike 2. Wong 1 for 5 in his career against Hand. As the Friar faithful come to their feet and stand as one at Petco Park. As Hand jumps ahead 0-2. He struck him out and the Padres win. Brad Hand makes it a little tough on himself in the 9th inning, but in the end able to strike out Kelly and Wong to end the ball game. And the Padres hold on to win it. A perfect pitch right there, center cut on the breaking ball. Padres win it 5-3 and split the series with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's time for Padres Live. Mike Pomerantz, what's in store?
Well, story of this game, Don, clearly the nice work by Clayton Richard. Really, really nice job. We'll break that down from you. Hopefully hear from him as well. And Andy Green, we'll see you in moments on the postgame show.